All right, welcome back everybody to the channel. Today we're taking a look at a 2023 Volkswagen Golf R. Let's take a look. All right, coming around immediately to the front, you can see it's really sporty this year, really aggressive, just like last year. It's actually a carryover, so whether you have 22 or 23, you're pretty much getting the same spec, same design. Really nice headlights that kind of form a bar all the way over into the emblem there, the Volkswagen emblem that doesn't light up or anything. Nice Golf R badging, everything like that. Moving on right away to this side profile, you got 19-inch rims there, and the side profile of this car is super nice. Like, it just looks like it can fly, and let me tell you, spoiler alert, it can. Really nice big blue brakes here, blue accented brakes with the R logo on them as well. R badging here on the side. One-touch door unlock and lock stuff. Spoiler, it does freeze up in the winter. It did freeze up this winter. It's a little bit dirtier than I'd like it, but you know, we're driving in the winter here, so can't do much about it. Taking a look at the back of the Golf R, super sporty again, those really nice headlights. I really like the newer generation headlights on the Volkswagen Golfs in general. I find them much nicer than the older ones. Obviously, quad tip exhaust, it's got a bit of a sound. I'll include one if I have it. A little bit of a smaller diffuser in the back there, but nothing to complain about. It really does add to the whole sporty look. A little bit of a spoiler too, and of course the rear wiper, which is very nice to have. Trunk space is all right. It's exactly what you'd expect. You'd actually pull this little thing up. It's also your rear view camera there too. But you pull that up and then bang, there we go. Perfect amount of space for what you need. You can see I already am storing a little bit of stuff here, a little cover for your stuff here too. You can see the blue accents in the rear that you'll see in some of the shots too. So overall, very nice. Taking a look under the hood of the Volkswagen Golf R, you got a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that does 315 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque, the 4Motion all-wheel drive system. So 50-50 split, very nice. Has a drift mode too. You'll see that in the driving segment. It's also got a 7-speed automatic DSG transmission, which is just the dual clutch transmission in normal terms, but you can also get it in manual. So if you like a manual car, well, Golf R comes in manual as well. So overall, the exterior of the Golf R is super nice, really sporty. I really like it. The white is super nice. It only comes in like 3 colors. It only comes in white, blue, and black, with the blue accents, of course, on all 3 models. But that's going to do it for the exterior tour. Let's go ahead and let's hop in the interior and take a look what that's got. All right, let's start off the interior tour by taking a look at the rear of the car. And as you can see, we're gonna squeeze in here because I am an average sized person, but I really have to squeeze in here. Let me close the door. And I essentially, behind my driver setting, have 0 room. This for maybe a couple minute of a trip would be fine. But anything longer than I'd say like 45 minutes, I'm in pain, right? Maybe on the passenger side, you have a little bit more if you're the only one traveling. But yeah, it is what it is. It is a hatchback. It is a hot hatch. You're not really expecting that much rear seat room. And that's the only thing that kind of sucks. But it is what it is. It may make up for in the driving segment, but we'll see when we get there. But overall, it is a comfortable rear seat, except for the legroom, obviously. But you do have some nice vents here that will ventilate you. And in a small cabin, oftentimes in cars with bigger cabins than this, we don't see the vents. So I'm happy that they're here. Also, you have heated seats back here, which again, we don't see on a lot of cars in this price point. So very good. Nice view of the sunroof too while you're driving along. So not too bad there. Nice little pull down here. You got your standard cup holders, a little bit of storage there. Not too bad. Overall, solid back seat. I mean, you got speakers in the doors back here too, so the sound is still going to be good, and you get a little bit of a nice view of that blue. I love this blue on these seats. But that being said, let's take a look in the front seat and check out everything that has to offer. All right, let's go ahead and hop in the front seat, where there's absolutely no squishing to do here, obviously, because we're in obviously the best part of the car, the best seat in the house when it comes to the Golf R is the driver's seat, because let me tell you, the driving in this car is the most fun I've had so far this year. Let me be honest when I say that. Overall, very, very minimalistic. I mean, you have this very interesting shifter that looks kind of like a key fob. I mean, it would be cool to like take the key fob and like pop it in there and that's your shifter. That's a cool idea. And it does kind of look like that. Your engine start, stop, park button, you know, an automatic park hold, stuff like that. Piano black, it's okay. There's not a lot of piano black in the high touch area, so I don't really mind. This is like, it's not, it looks like carbon fiber, but it's almost like a print of carbon fiber, but it's super smooth and nice. The ambient lighting in here is very nice. You can change those features in the Volkswagen settings, so you can have any type of color that you want, which is nice. I love the blue stitching on the seats. I love that you have the R logo on the seat as well, just to kind of bring home that you're in the Golf R, that it's just absolute power, the absolute top of the Golf line that you could get. So the infotainment is actually quite big and good. I mean, I really do like the design of this one, although the climate control is stuck in here. What I mean by that is I do have this little button there that says climate. I press it. It's supposed to bring up my, there it is, in my climate control, where you can have your smart climate classic and your air care, all stuff like that. But it's tied there, right? So my heated seats, there's no button here on the center console. It's only in the infotainment. That's probably the worst part about the car. Everything else we've loved this week. This is just a little bit difficult to use, but usually I just leave it on automatic and I don't touch it. So I've had no actual need to do it, but the heated seats I have. And upon start, the infotainment system can be a little bit slow, so just keep that in mind. But overall, I do like the graphics on it. I like the fact that I can go and type vehicle, and then I can go and say data, right? And it'll show you everything on the screen there, but also I can go vehicle itself, and then you can kind of drag it around and have different features for different sides of the vehicles. You can press interior. That's where you can change your seat settings, your cockpit, heads-up display, interior lighting. This car does have 3 memory seat settings, which is obviously very nice to have, but it's cool. I mean, look at the level of design. Look at the level of what you can actually see and do and control from the infotainment. That's really nice. So moving right along now to the steering wheel, which, oh boy, do I love this steering wheel. Nice R logo. Again, it continues with that blue. You can change the ambient lighting, like we said, to different colors, but I leave it blue because it just matches the whole car, and the exterior being white, it's absolutely wonderful. Right up my alley. The driver infotainment is all digital. There's no analog at all there, but I don't care at all because it's not lagged on me once. It's super usable. You have different views that you can choose from. And you can pretty much customize almost every piece of information on that infotainment screen right there. So I love that. Nice R button here on the steering wheel. Obviously, we have heated seats and ventilated seats in here. We also have our coveted, our famous heated steering wheel. Yes, Volkswagen has included it in the Golf R, not the Jetta. I couldn't tell you why, but if you have the Golf R, you're in luck. Bang, we have that heated steering wheel button. I'm not a fan of the piano black touch thing, just like I said on the Jetta. Not great there. The fact that it, you know, it's like, it's fingerprinty and it's like haptic feedback stuff. It would have just looked way better with the normal buttons, with the big buttons, you know. You got paddle shifters here, which are very fun to use. The shifting is quick. I like that too. You got a little thing over here that's going to control your lights. So you can control your lights modes. Right now I'm on everything because I'm filming. And you can also control your max, your air ventilation for your windshield and your rear windshield as well, which is kind of weird that it's there, but there it is. Anyways, not really. It's just a bit of a different location. Not too much to complain about there. Blue stitching everywhere. I like this car a lot. I like the interior a lot. It's a nice place to sit, nice place to spend time. Now, let's see where it really shines. Let's see the best part of the Golf R. Let me strap that GoPro onto my forehead and let's take this car for a drive. All right, on the road with the 2023 Volkswagen Golf R. So, the driving is honestly where it matters most when it comes to this car. It is an absolute pleasure to drive it slowly like we're doing now, as it is to drive it fast like I'll do in a little bit here. And it's the nicest feeling to have kind of like almost SUV quality materials, or not even materials, just ride quality in a car of this size, right? The compactness is really great. Everything else is just really great about it. The suspension is good. It's adaptable. You've got all-wheel drive, can send 50-50. It's a 50-50 split, but can send, you know, about 50% full power to the rear and 100 on both sides. So we like that a lot. The fact that that's there, the fact that we're in Quebec and it is a different climate here, and the fact that we do get winters, the four-wheel drive in this car just makes it such a good decision if you're looking at buying this one. You know, these seats, they're not like your typical like racing seats where you have that pass through for the seatbelt, but just in terms of overall look, they pass absolutely for a racing seat, and they're very, very comfortable. You know, you've got that like that leatherette feeling too, which is super nice to sit in. Again, Volkswagen have absolutely killed it with their steering wheel. They did it with the Jetta, and now they've done it again with the Golf, and I like how big it is. I like how robust it is. I don't like the, you know, these touch buttons here, like I said in the interior tour. I don't like them. They're not the greatest. They don't glitch out, thankfully. They work okay, but I'd prefer physical buttons. It would just give it like a more like robust look, I guess. But overall, the steering wheel feel is superior. It is probably one of the top in the market for this type of hot hatch type of car. Everything from a driving standpoint is really well laid out too. I mean, they went with a minimalistic look, which, like we said, we don't really like the fact that a lot of the climate control is tied into the infotainment system. They could have done buttons. They have a lot of space to do buttons, but I guess they wanted minimalistic, which I guess isn't terrible to look at. It's definitely nice to look at. In terms of overall visibility, it's really good. I have really good visibility here. There's not really much blind spots back there or anything like that, so I really like that too. And for it being a small car, you kind of do need to be aware of your surroundings at all times, and that's actually no problem in this little guy. So as you're probably aware, this car does have, you know, quite the amount of performance, 315 horsepower under that hood, like we mentioned at the beginning. And, you know, it's got some different drive modes. So if I press my mode button here, I've got, you know, your comfort, sport, race, and custom. You can kind of change all the parameters of everything. But if I go ahead and I pop it into race mode, I can have a drift mode, which will send 50% power, or as much power as it can, to the rear, so you can slide this thing around. But it keeps quitting before I'm done making my point. But you can press this special mode, which absolutely will unleash the car. It's called the Nürburgring mode because this car has been tested. You could hear it popping and rattling back there. Just a little bit there, so that's cool to see. And I'm just gonna slow down here. I'll just put my brakes on. We'll do a little bit of like a rolling one here. All right, let's go. Let's punch it. Oh yes, you see that power. You feel it in a straight line. It's absolutely unleashed in that Nürburgring mode. It absolutely just wants to fly. Let me tell you, in this Nürburgring mode, if this car could just absolutely take off, it would. Oh my goodness, that's so addicting. And it's such in a small package. All that performance is in a little package that'll absolutely just rip your heart out. That never is going to get old, you know. Oh boy, that's fun to drive in. Maybe not so good on the gas side if you're always driving in that like super race sport mode. Oh, but in the summer and stuff with some nice sticky tires, I don't think you're gonna care about fuel economy. But speaking of not caring about fuel economy, the fuel economy, I've been driving mostly in sport mode, so you can see on my dash there that's actually showing me I'm getting around 8.9 liters per 100 kilometers. Not bad. Actually really good for the amount I've been beating this car to the absolute most. It's just like, oh, that speed, that absolute, like, you know, even if I'm going 80, right, it's just like it wants to just run away from you. Like you could just blast it. Wow, that feeling never gets old. Ooh, really big bang there. Whew. Yeah, so suspension in the race mode is going to be a little bit rough. You could just feel that. You just probably heard that on the camera too. Holy. really hit those speed bumps hard, but oh my goodness. This on a racetrack, Volkswagen, if you're watching, if anybody from Volkswagen, you want to give us a track tour or a track test in the Golf R, I will absolutely sign up for it. You know, this car is probably just as fun to drive if you're a manual enthusiast, but I am completely fine with the fact that it is a automatic and it is just fun. It's fun in a small package, and it's, you know, it's under $50,000, which is impressive too. Yeah, when it comes to performance, the Golf R has got that segment absolutely locked down for the price that they're asking for. I couldn't recommend that enough. Look at this, just off the, it's so addicting, like just rip it. Yes. It's gonna be so hard to stay out of trouble with this car. Oh my goodness, it's addicting. Oh boy. Now, I enjoy every single car that I drive, but this car is giving me a different feeling, you know? It's giving me that, ooh, that dangerous feeling, you know? It's just like you just want to be irresponsible with it. It's just, yes. And it just brings out absolutely everything I love about driving. Volkswagen, you have done an excellent job in the performance sector and the comfort sector again. The sound system will bang around and you'll have a good time listening to it as you're ripping through corners and doing whatever you please performance-wise with this car. But we can just as easily, because I'm approaching some slow traffic, I can just as easily pop it back into comfort very seamlessly. There's a bit of infotainment weirdness here that's like not always the greatest thing. The good news is though, if I say this guy gets out of my way and I want to go back to race mode, well, I have this R button on my steering wheel and I can absolutely wring this car's neck again when, you know, you're clear of traffic and it's safe. Make sure if you're wringing this car's neck that it's safe to do it, because yes, the traction and stability is very good, but that's not to say that you couldn't lose control if you're doing something crazy. Just keep that in mind. But enjoy it. Please do press on that gas pedal for me and let me know what you think about that part, because oh boy, that's fun. But it's a really nice, comfortable cruiser as well. And it's just that duality that makes this car, honestly, for me, I am in the market for an electric vehicle, but if I can't find one soon enough when the time to change cars comes, the Volkswagen Golf R is super high on my list. I'm gonna say it's actually top 3 on my list of cars that I would maybe buy in the future, which is, yeah, you know, I've driven quite a bit of cars. This one is very high up on that list in terms of the fun. Like I said, that 4-wheel drive, very good. And it's a really big selling point for me, for somebody who lives in a winter climate. And it probably is for you too, if you also live in a winter climate. I just really like that it feels kind of premium. You are getting, you know, the top that Volkswagen has to offer, and they're not charging you $60,000 for it. You know, they're not making you pay for every little horsepower piece of performance that they put in this thing. They just want you to have fun, and that's exactly what you should do. So final thoughts on this VW Golf R. Overall, like I said, top 3 in the list of cars that I would actually consider buying, and I would absolutely adore to own. If you're an owner of this vehicle, please let me know what you think, and do you have fun as much as I think you will be doing it this summer and stuff like that. And even in the winter with that drift mode, you know, you go into a parking lot and you can absolutely spin this car's tires. You know, that price point is excellent. I think Volkswagen have nailed it. I think they've nailed performance-wise. I think they've nailed just about everything you could nail with this car. They've absolutely hit everything right on the dot, right on the nose, with everything that you could want. Yes, we're not a fan too much of the way that they've set up the infotainment, a lot of stuff locked in touchscreen. That's not so great if you're gonna own it, but it makes up for it where it matters most, and that's the driving. So, you know, it's a little price to pay for a lot of performance for a smaller price point, for a lower price point. It's got a lot to offer for what it is, despite the fact that maybe it's a little bit not so useful on the climate control side or just general ergonomic side when it comes to infotainment and controlling different features. But personally, I wouldn't care, because when this thing takes off and when it's in that fun race mode, you don't care what you don't really care what climate you're in, you know what I mean? So there you have it. So that's gonna do it for today's video for the Volkswagen Golf R. I've enjoyed my week so much, and I'm actually filming about midweek, so I do have a couple of days left, and I plan to enjoy them to the fullest. I recommend that you get this car if you're in the market for it. There's a lot of these cars in Quebec. I do get quite a few stares in this one because it is a nicer one. But yeah, let me know if you own this car. Let me know if you're planning on getting this car. What do you think about it? Do you like the white? Do you like the interior? How do you feel about the infotainment? I want to know everything that you think about this car. And also, would you buy it? Is it in your top 3? Let me know in the comments. Leave a like if you did, and make sure you subscribe to support the channel. That's the best way you could do it, and it's absolutely free. Never expect you to pay for the subscription or anything like that. So I'm going to keep bringing these cars to you every week that I can get them. And with that being said, we will see you guys in the next one. Take care.